Hey, what's up guys? Let's talk about Psychokinesis. So this is a 2018 South Korean film directed by Yeon Sang-ho, who also did the 2016 Train to Busan. You can find both films on Netflix, with this one being an original film that they just released on April 25th this past Wednesday. The film is about a young woman who owns a restaurant and is dealing with a real estate battle by this construction company that is run by a mob. During an altercation, something happens to her mom, which leads her to get in contact with her dad. Meanwhile, we see that her dad had just happened to drink some water, which appears to have some kind of mixture in it that ends up giving him telekinetic powers. Telekinesis is of course the ability to move things with your mind, like we see from Eleven in Stranger Things or Carrie. Now I know a lot of you are really excited to go see the new Avengers this weekend. I am too, I'll be seeing it tomorrow, but definitely don't sleep on this film. Of course, if you're not planning to see Avengers or really go out at all, this is definitely a nice film to check out at home. What I really liked was the fascinating story here and how it develops throughout. It opens as sort of a family drama as we're trying to figure out why the daughter is not quite happy with her father. Since he's presented as the main character and central protagonist, it's interesting because we're trying to unravel whether we really care for him or not. We're not quite sure if he's a good person based on what he did in the past, but because we don't really know too much about that, we have to focus on what we get now, and therefore there's some interesting sympathy that we get for his character. I appreciated how this relationship changed over time, especially when we get to see more from the dad. This film does a great job of really bringing out sort of an average Joe, a normal guy who just happens to have these powers and just feels like using them whenever he pleases. At times there are some really funny or silly moments where he's just experimenting using them. He likes to play it off as if it's just some kind of magic trick. And then there are times where they become really useful as he tries to help his daughter against this construction company. So this film does a great job blending those different tones, whether there's some dramatic elements or some comedy and just flat out fun action sequences. The daughter was also a very fascinating character when we get to see how strong-willed she is, and she's just simply not going to give up in this situation no matter how bad it gets. We also get to see another actress who plays a very interesting role where sometimes she'll speak in English, and it's very surprising the things she actually says. It feels like she's doing several different things at once. I thought she was a really interesting character. Now if you've never seen a South Korean film, this one might be up your alley as a good first one to start with. I definitely recommend watching it with the original language and subtitles. The film is only an hour and 40 minutes, and it might start off a little slow for a few of you, but it develops really well. I was really happy with the end result. The one thing I will say is some of the CG effects look like they could have been a little bit better. However, it wasn't too distracting, and overall I thought it worked well. I find it interesting that people are calling this sort of a superhero film. I don't know if I necessarily view it that way, but apparently this would be classified as the first one that's ever been made for South Korea. Overall, I thought it was really well done. I hope more people will check it out. It seems like it might be one of those sleeper hits this year, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more from this director, especially Train to Busan. Psychokinesis moves viewers with a fascinating story, delightfully strange characters, fun action sequences, and artistic aesthetic from South Korean cinema. And that's why this film is a diligent pick. So how many of you have just heard about this film or have already watched it? I'm curious to see what you think of it compared to the director's previous work, as well as what your favorite overall South Korean film is. If you've never seen one before, I can definitely recommend a few. My name is Dylan, and if you enjoyed the review, subscribe to my channel while this video ends and send me a thumbs up before you go. Thanks for watching, and stay diligent.